بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. سورة المائدة آية 116. قال الله تعالى: وإذ قال الله يا عيسى ابن مريم أأنت قلت للناس اتخذوني وأمي إلهين من دون الله قال سبحانك ما يكون لي أن أقول ما ليس لي بحق إن كنت قلته فقد علمته تعلم ما في نفسي ولا أعلم ما في نفسك إنك أنت علام الغيوب. The words are fairly straightforward in this ayah. وَإِذْ meaning make mention, as in udhkur, when Allah will say to Isa ibn Maryam, O Isa, did you tell the people to take me and my mother as two gods besides Allah? Isa alayhi salam, being shocked at this, will say, Subhanaka, may you be removed from imperfection, and that may you be removed from anyone else being worshipped besides you, and may you be removed from having any partners. He will say, it is not for me to say what I had no right to say, and if I had said it, you would have known it. You know what is in myself, and I do not know what is in yourself. Nafs here meaning the self. Indeed, you are the knower of the unseen. Okay, so reflecting on ayah number 116, we take that Allah Jalla wa Ala speaks, but the main lesson from this ayah clearly is that this is an ayah that the Christians need to read. It tells them clearly that Isa alayhi salam nor his mother were gods worthy of worship. The Catholics worship the mother of Isa alayhi salam, Mary, and general Christians, they take Isa alayhi salam to be literally God. We learn that Isa alayhi salam only taught his people Tawheed, just like any other prophet, and that all prophets are as far away from shirk as you can possibly imagine. We get the sense reading this ayah that Isa alayhi salam will be in shock when Allah Jalla wa Ala asks him this question: did you tell people to worship you? We learn that Allah Jalla wa Ala knows everything, even the things you're hiding in yourself. We also learn that Allah himself has a self. Of course, it's a divine self, but it is a self nevertheless, because the word nafs is used, which means the self. Nafs can also mean soul, but we do not affirm a soul for Allah Jalla wa Ala. Humans have a soul, animals have a soul, but we do not affirm a ruh, a soul, for Allah. But we do affirm that Allah has a self, that is, his own essence. We also take that Allah knows what we are intending inside ourselves, but it is not true the other way around. We also take that anyone claiming to have knowledge of the unseen is a liar, because Allah alone knows the unseen. Yes, it is true he may share some of this unseen with his prophets only, but anyone else claiming knowledge of the unseen is committing kufr. Ayah 117. ما قلت لهم إلا ما أمرتني به أن اعبدوا الله ربي وربكم وكنت عليهم شهيدا ما دمت فيهم فلما توفيتني كنت أنت الرقيب عليهم وأنت على كل شيء شهيد. He goes on saying, I did not say to them except what you ordered me to say, that is, to worship Allah, my Rabb and your Rabb, and I was a witness over them as long as I was amongst them. But when you made tawaffi on me, meaning to say took me in full, because tawaffi means to take something in full, as opposed to waffa or awfa, to give something in full. So to take Isa alayhi salam fully, meaning to say raising him up into the sky. Tawaffa can mean to give death, that is true, but the mainstream opinion amongst the ulama is that he raised Isa alayhi salam up and did not give him death. So when you took me in full, he says, Kunta anta you were the Ar-Raqib, the watcher over them, as in you were observing them, and you are a witness over all things. So again, the words are pretty straightforward. Reflecting on Ayah 117, we find that the messengers are faithful servants of Allah Jalla wa Ala, conveying the message as they were taught by Allah. We also learn that their message is to worship Allah alone. This is the common denominator amongst all the messengers. We also clearly take that Isa a.s. is not worthy of worship, and neither did he order the people to worship him. And this is absolutely clear cut in this ayah. Again, we say every Christian needs to read this ayah in the hope that this would awaken their fitrah and that they may accept the true belief in Isa a.s. and in Allah Jalla wa Ala. We take that messengers are witnesses over the ummah as long as they are amongst them. They can observe what the ummah is doing, how they are responding to them, and they will also testify to this on Yawm al-Qiyamah. But after the messengers have died, we find that they no longer are able to see what their ummah is doing. They no longer have this knowledge anymore. And this is a rebuttal against those who say that the Prophet is alive with us today and is witnessing everything that goes on. This is nonsense. Isa a.s. says that when you took me, you were a raqib, a watcher over them. So Isa a.s. has no idea what is going on after his death. And the same goes with every other prophet and messenger as well. After the messengers have gone, it is Allah who watches over the people. Of course, He does that, and His malaika are also watching over the people, writing down their deeds, the good deeds and the bad deeds, and every word which is spoken. We also take that Allah is a witness to everything, inner and outer. Ayah 118, إِن تُعَذِّبْهُمْ فَإِنَّهُمْ عِبَادُكَ وَإِن تَغْفِرْ لَهُمْ فَإِنَّكَ أَنْتَ الْعَزِيزُ الْحَكِيمُ. He goes on to say, if you punish them, then they are your servants. But if you forgive them, then you are the Aziz. This means the honored one. It can also mean the mighty one, and it can also mean one who is unaffected by defects. And Al-Hakim, meaning the wise, it also means the judge, and it can also mean the one who does things perfectly, as in Muhkim. So Isa a.s. is saying that whether you punish them or forgive them, you are the Aziz. You have the power to punish and to forgive, and you are the Hakim. Whether you punish or you forgive is done through your wisdom. So reflecting on Ayah 118, we find that punishing or forgiving is the prerogative of Allah Jalla wa Ala. And notice how Isa a.s. acknowledges this and leaves the matter up to Allah Jalla wa Ala. We also take that whatever he does is based upon his wisdom, as he is Al-Hakim. Also, whatever he does, it is because he has Izzah, he has the honor and the might, and that also he is free from imperfection and defects. He transcends all of these negative traits and qualities. Ayah 119, قال الله هذا يوم ينفع الصادقين صدقهم لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا رضي الله عنهم ورضوا عنه ذلك الفوز العظيم. Allah will reply by saying, this is a day in which the truthful will profit from their truth. So the truthful people are those who spoke the truth in their speech, and their actions were actions of truth, good, righteous actions of worshipping Allah and obedience to Allah Jalla wa Ala, as opposed to impure, filthy actions of sin and transgression. The day referred to here is, of course, Yawm al-Qiyamah. He says, Lahum Jannatun, they will have gardens with rivers flowing on the ground. Khalidina, therein forever. Abadan, without end. Allah is pleased with them, and they are pleased with Him. That is, Allah is pleased with these servants because they were faithful servants of Allah Jalla wa Ala. And they are pleased with Allah, and they are pleased with Allah because they are pleased with Allah as their Rabb. And they are thankful servants because they realize all the grace and the bounty that Allah has bestowed upon them, so they are well pleased with Allah Jalla wa Ala. That is the great success. Fawz meaning success. Notice Khalidina is mansoob with the ya, and this is because it is a hal of the hum when he says lahum, referring to the Muslimin and the truthful people. Abadan is mansoob bil fathah because it is a dharf zaman. Reflecting on ayah 119, the main lesson is the imperative nature of being truthful. There is no other deen in the world which rewards truthfulness as Islam does. Just this ayah alone is proof. We also find a description of Jannah for the truthful people, that it has rivers flowing, and this is the most common description given of Jannah in the Quran. We also find that the people of Jannah will dwell therein forever, without end, as this is the most perfect type of pleasure, one which does not end and keeps refreshing itself, so that you do not feel bored. We also find one of the descriptions of Allah of pleasure, that Allah is pleased with His believing servants and they are pleased with Him. And as with all sifat, we affirm it without any tahrif, nor any tafweed, nor takyif, nor tamthil. And so we find that one of the ways of attaining the pleasure of Allah is to be truthful in all your speech. Also we find that the real success is Jannah, not money and fame and fortune and subscribers on your social media platform. All of these types of things which people are striving for in this day and age, this is not the success. Rather, this is a distraction from the real success. And the last ayah, 120. لِلَّهِ مُلْكُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ وَمَا فِيهِنَّ وَهُوَ عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٌ. The words are simple enough. To Allah, as in to Allah alone belongs the mulk, the dominion of the heavens and the earth, and all that which is in them, and He is able to do all things. Reflecting on ayah 120, we learn of the rububiyyah of Allah, that He has the mulk. Remember, rububiyyah has three elements, that Allah is the khaliq, the creator, He is the malik, the owner of everything which He creates, and He is the mudabbir, the one who manages the affairs of all of His creation. These three elements are rububiyyah. Notice how the plural is used, samawat, because there are 7 layers of the heaven, and we are beneath the first layer. And the ard is used in the singular, even though we have other evidence which tells us that there are 7 layers of earth, but He is referring to planet Earth as one entity. Also note that when He owns things, His ownership is in the absolute sense. No one can tell Him what to do with His ownership, as opposed to our ownership, which is restricted. We are restricted in what we own, and we are also restricted in what we can do with our possessions. We also learn that Allah is able to do all things. These are of course all things which are not logically absurd, and that this is also part of His rububiyyah, is that He is all-powerful. And as we always say, whenever He mentions His rububiyyah, the whole point of it is to lead you on to His uluhiyyah, that He alone is therefore worthy of worship, not Isa alayhi salam, not His mother, not anyone else. And that worship, just as His rububiyyah, solely, uniquely and singularly belongs to Him. And with this we finish our tafsir of Surah Al-Maa'idah, walhamdulillah. هذا والله أعلم.